Hey everyone, so my name's Ace. I've been at Concordia for about 4 years now. I'm in my fifth year at university, and I thought it was about time that I tried to inform myself properly on what is being asked of us by the CSU for the upcoming by-elections. I've done my due diligence in the past, but never have I seen a referendum question that was so important and crucial to the future of the CSU and us as students at the school as this is what's being asked of us. So I took it upon myself to do some research so I could become properly informed. And you know what? It wasn't easy obtaining all this information. Actually, it was ridiculously difficult. I'm one student, and it took me hours of asking and prodding and talking to the people, past executives, current people, trying to really figure out what is being asked of us. Why wasn't the information there sooner? Like, why couldn't I just go to a site and understand what the bylaw referendum changes were? Because there was no place for us to find all this information, I took it upon myself to start my unofficial no campaign to the bylaw referendum question that's being posed against us. I used this platform, my Facebook event page, as the website where you can find all the information that was required to make the proper and informed decision. I put up the old bylaws, I put up the new bylaws, I put up the changes to the current to the bylaws that were drafted by the CSU that were then made by Lex Gill and her team. I made all that information available, and I really was able to distinguish what the significant changes were. So the first major change that I found, and I was able to distinguish from the old bylaws and the new bylaws, was the change to the election system. Specifically, the change, the elimination of the slate election system, turning it into an individually run election system. While I believe there's a lot of negatives to this, I wanted to highlight some of them that I believe really will negatively affect the people. The student, first is exposure. A fine arts student generally does not have the same exposure to the student body that an arts and science student has. The same goes with an engineering student. We have 4 large faculties at Concordia: fine arts, engineering, JMSB, and ASFA, and you know what? ASFA's reach is far greater than anybody. I'm an ASFA student. I understand that firsthand. When I go into my classroom, chances are my classroom can have 100 people. The same can't be said for a fine arts and engineering class. So the removal of the slate system really hinders the individual when running for a position to beat the ASFA student, or the JMSB student. It creates a very unfair balance to the system. Second, with the elimination of the slate system, there arises a whole brash of problems, both logistical and informative. How on earth is a student body supposed to know the position of every person running for every single VP position, of which there are 7, and the presidency? It's not realistic to ask the students to know that. That could be 21 possible positions to know and then make the right choice. Second, after the elections, guaranteed there's going to be contestations, and how on earth is the judicial board and the CEO going to be able to hear 27 different complaints, or however many people are running? Not everyone's going to be happy with it. It's just going to cause problems that are going to tie the CSU down in issues that do not help our future. The second major change that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention is the change regarding the removal of an executive from office. It used to be at 10%, and that's what it is right now, but it's being dropped down to a required amount of signatures in a petition to 2,500. This would also be accompanied by a special general meeting. Now, the drop in signatures, the 10% to 2,500, is admirable, and it's very smart. However, the attachment of the SGM makes it that chances are those signatures will become useless. It's very hard for a quorum to be met in a special general meeting. It was barely met regarding the tuition hikes, and chances are, with the 10-day allotted grace period before the SGM needs to be held, a quorum will not be reached. There's no guidelines what to do if that doesn't happen after 10 days. Does the petition continue? It doesn't really say. The bylaws are too vague, and for something that is so important, we can't just jump on and support vague bylaws. We need a step-by-step solution of what's going to happen. So for that reason, it's another solid reason as to why I'm voting no on the bylaw referendum changes. So the third and final change that I wanted to bring up was the removal of the Faculty Senate from the bylaws. Now, currently the Faculty Senate is the only body that can really check the CSU Council and the actions through meeting. Now, the CSU's idea is that because it meets so infrequently, it's useless. But that doesn't make any sense to me, because if it hasn't had to be met because the checks haven't had to be needed, perfect. But if we need the checks in the future, it needs to be able to be there so that the checks can be made. Removing it just because the CSU has been running effectively is not a good enough reason. I don't know why we would justify removing a check and balance from our current system. It does not make sense to me. So, as you guys can see, I've shared all the information I found on the website event page on Facebook, and now I've made this video to help inform you guys better. But I wanted to just make like one last note that people should not be confused by the official Yes campaign and what has come out. A lot of what is being said is as if all the referendum questions are omnibus. They're things in power, bylaws, student center, the way they portray everything, it's almost misleading. I've taken issue with the bylaw referendum question. I believe that the proposed bylaws will have a large negative effect. I believe this elimination of the slate system is going to cause complete chaos in the general election. I believe the addition of the special general meeting is going to cause a circus if we ever choose to remove an executive from office. I don't believe the removal of the faculty senate is the right choice. So in the long story, I don't believe that bylaws are effective. So on one final note, I just wanted to bring up one last point, which I think is really crucial, is that what we're voting on as a whole. We're voting on all the bylaws. They've been given to us by the council as one omnibus bill. There's no chance for us, the students, to disagree with any of them, you know? And that clearly is a problem. Clearly there's something wrong, as I've shown, with the change to the electoral system, and there's something wrong with the removal of the faculty senate. A lot of the other parts of the bylaws I agree with, the little bits that they've changed and they've worked on hard. And you know what? The fact is it is good. But a couple bad apples can ruin the bunch, and that's what it's doing in this case. So, you know, it can go back to council if this fails, and they can work on it, and they can present it to us again in March at the general election, and they can present to us separate issues, you know. The change to the electoral system can be different, things like that. But as of right now, it's given to us in one big omnibus bill, and so it's all or nothing. And the fact is, there's too many vague parts in this bylaws for it to be all or nothing, you know. Something really needs to be worked on, and some things, you know, don't. But the things that do need to be worked on do need to be worked on, and we can't support them outright like that. So please, make the informed decision. Take a look at what I provided. Take a look at the yes page. Take a look at the no page. Really take the time to make the informed decision, because a lot of this will affect us. I hope what I've done here has helped, and I hope that everybody can go out and make the choice that they want to make. But if they can make it themselves, informed, you know. I'm informing people that I believe it's not the right choice to be made regarding the bylaw questions, and I'm asking people. I'm not asking people. I mean, just informing people, hoping that others will join me in believing that it is not in the best interest of students to vote yes for the bylaw questions. It is in the better interest of students to vote no. So thank you all for your time. If you watched the whole video, I do appreciate it. And any comments you guys have, please, absolutely, I'm always here. We have the next couple days before this all finishes up, so I'm always here. Please let me know. You know, hopefully I can help out. I can answer. There's people back and forth debating, and I'm glad because it has informed the student population more than it was when I'd started this. So half of my goal was met. So thank you so much for all your support, and I look forward to keep hearing from you guys the next couple days. Thanks a lot, guys.